We're going to release.
Ooh, that's a big one.
And welcome back to another amazing episode of the Riley Black Project.
Hey.
What's going on?
We're a little less miserable today.
A little less tired, yeah. A little more rested.
Yeah,
because he didn't wake up at 4 or 5 or, you know.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing what those couple hours.
Man, facts. And we didn't go back to bed after dropping him off.
This is true.
So
this is pretty good for us right now.
yeah. I mean, I could go to bed after this.
Oh, totally.
But you know.
But we won't.
We can get through the podcast. Yeah, we have a lot to catch up on the DVR.
We do, yeah.
So, yeah. So today's guest is
Mr. Casey Cruz with Smokey Hill Designs. So he is the Smokey part of the Smokey Tides group, which is Smokey Hill and Cerulean Tides on Facebook.
And you might remember Cerulean Tides
from a couple weeks ago with Amanda. Mm-hmm. So, he's the wood supplier. He does, after I think COVID, he started carrying like clear and maybe another type of acrylic, but really just those two. He doesn't have a full line of acrylic or anything. But yeah, he's mainly focusing on the wood.
Well, we'll talk to him a little more
in a little bit,
a little depth a little later. But first, we wanted to give you guys some updates as to some things from last episode.
Yeah.
In part, the wash and fold.
Yes, how's that going for you? Because you did most of the laundry stuff. So
I will say, dropping it off on Saturday.
Yeah.
On my way to work, and then picking it up on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's like one less thing you have to think about. I don't have to do I have a load in the wash that I have to switch over?
Yeah.
Do I have to, whatever? And then the dread of around this time is like, oh, now I got to fold all this.
Right.
So it's just drop off. They're super friendly.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Mary's Laundromat in Lauderdale Lakes. Mm-hmm. They're super nice. Mm-hmm. It's only the second week, and she already knows me by name. Mm-hmm. It's great.
Yeah.
I have nothing. It's $1 a pound. We average about 10 pounds.
Nice.
So it's like
so $10. How much was it this week?
This week was $1 more than last week, $13.50. Nice. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely for about $12-13 a week. I think it's worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Not having to worry about it and just drop it off, and then you pick it up. It's folded nice, like it's the folding passes.
Yeah. I have to see if it passes my fold meter, but
what else?
I think it will.
The detergent, like it doesn't have
I was wondering that today because I finally got brave enough to let you take a couple of my items with the laundry, and I was wondering, one, what detergent they use, and two, do they wash in cold water? These are things I kind of want you to just ask. Yeah, I'm just curious.
Okay. Just curious.
Just out of curiosity. Like, because, I mean, there wasn't, like, it didn't feel any different or anything, but I just know that, like, cold water is supposed to be a little less harsh on your clothes.
Right.
And, just curious, again, like, if any of us show up with rashes or, with the baby coming and stuff, just out of curiosity what they use.
Right, what they use. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll ask them. I mean, you got to assume since they're a business, they probably do cold.
Yeah.
Just because to save on
energy and stuff,
stuff like that. And then there's also a big push. Mm-hmm. Tide has that whole thing with who is it? Stone Cold Steve Austin and Ice-T about their pods working in cold water.
Yeah.
So I'd assume it's cold, but no, it's good. The only thing I did notice is JR's polo, his school uniform polo, has had a few furs, like little
my
balls.
Pants had a little bit of that too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to ask, maybe is that I don't even know if that's whatchamacallit, those sheets, those dryer sheets.
Yeah, I don't know because I mean, with our new dryer, we don't even use dryer sheets.
Well, I have.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Why?
I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to. We'll have to check.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure the new dryer you aren't supposed to use the dryer sheets.
Then what do you do about static electricity?
You don't need it.
It doesn't.
Huh?
Huh.
I don't know. We'll have to look. We'll have to look at the thing because I remember my mom and my sister
specifically, Crystal and John.
Specifically, you weren't supposed to use the dryer sheets.
Okay.
But anyway, before we get too off track, the other thing, the other update that we have, is today we had a, like, I guess you'd call it a consultation with a house cleaner.
Yeah, we're going for like zero work.
Yeah.
Like
no, it's because we do so much other work.
We're outsourcing everything.
We really are. We're outsourcing where we can because listen, we've tried
we don't
to
even
manage
grocery
it.
Shop anymore.
We really
do
don't.
Curbside.
Yeah.
That's before COVID.
Yeah, we did.
We did that in Colorado.
Yeah, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I'd rather shop from my couch and go pick it up because no. I mean, in my defense, I worked at a grocery store for 7 years.
And for 5.
And
my first job.
Just grocery shopping, I've never enjoyed it. So anyway, we had the consultation today, and while it was a little bit more than we really want to spend,
by a little bit meaning we
double?
thought up of a price yesterday,
which I did think that was a little low. It was more like
double.
Hopeful.
It came in double.
Yeah, there was more like
more.
wishful thinking.
Right.
I really didn't think that we were going to get that lucky, but I was hopeful. But we're going to try it. We're going to give it a month at least and just see if it seems worth it. Does it seem like we can afford that? Does it like really, eliminate that much of our workload and that kind of stuff. I'm really excited. She's coming.
Is she gonna do dishes too?
I mean, I think if they're in the dish, if they're in the sink, she might.
Okay.
I don't know, but then it might mean that she doesn't do something else. So we kind of have to figure out, what we want done. But she's coming for the first time on Thursday, so it's probably like the deep clean and stuff. And I'm really excited to see what it looks like.
Yeah, this is my first
after that
experience with.
I've never had
cleaning
one.
person.
Never, me either.
We're getting a little bougie.
And I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that because
in school, my rich friends had like the housekeeper.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my aunt, who is probably like the wealthiest of the family, she was the one that had like a cleaning lady. Like we never ever had like cleaning ladies. And again, we're going from like dirty to bougie. I mean, it's not like we're doing it because we aren't finding enough time in our schedules to do it, and so then it just doesn't get done.
And to be clear, twice a month. It's not like they're coming once a week or twice a week. It's twice a month. Every 2 weeks she'll come. She'll clean for a few hours. Yeah, and then so.
So we'll update you next week and let you know how the first one went.
Next week will be the yeah,
because she's coming on Thursday. So
cool. Is there anything else to update? From
no,
last week?
I don't think so. I think that's about it.
That's it. So our outsourcing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess this is a good time to
break and
to bring in
call Casey, get him on the line.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Casey.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very well. John.
You've never met my husband.
No, I'm John.
I haven't met you either, but
that's true. I mean, we've met on like the phone and Facebook.
Absolutely.
So how did we kind of meet? So you approached Amanda initially, right? Like kind of in the beginning.
Yeah. So I think we were both doing our own things at that point. She had a great following with her acrylic, and we were doing pretty well, just getting started with the wood. She had showed interest in maybe doing a group, and I had also been thinking about doing a group, and it just seemed like a natural spot for both of us to be in. And I think it really created a dream team of sorts where we had two people that were knowledgeable in their field. We, had good customer service, kind of had similar goals on where we wanted our companies to go.
Right.
This for both of us, this wasn't a side gig.
Yeah, side hustle.
For lack of a better term. Yeah, it was something we were both trying to grow into a full-blown business.
Right.
So it worked out really well. Starting the Smokey Tides group.
Yeah. So how many people do you have in that group now? It's pretty big.
Yeah, I think we're in the mid to high 13,000.
Nice.
I think it's like 13.6 or 7 now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're absolutely blessed to have such an amazing group of people, and it's really good to see how active it is, and we have a really good, helpful people. We'll have busy days where we're not able to really keep up with.
Yeah, and there's plenty of people who will jump in and help with settings.
Absolutely.
And
yeah, we never have to worry about anybody. Never have to worry about anybody not being helped, even if we're not able to at that moment, which is really nice. Really nice to have that community.
And so how did you get into, how did Smokey Hill Designs happen?
So I guess it, just like everyone else, it starts with a Glowforge, right?
Yeah.
And
seems to be the common denominator.
Right.
The gateway drug to the community. And I guess I should really start by saying, I don't own Smokey Hill Designs. My wife does.
Right.
And there is a little bit of a disconnect there. I also, I guess this could be one of my coming out of the closet situations, because I do hear it a lot that people think I'm a woman just because we are a woman-owned company.
Right. And your picture is you and your wife.
Right.
And your name is Casey. And so, there's, it's hard because, sometimes you just assume.
Yeah. I don't fault anyone.
Right.
And to be fair, I don't see, I don't have a problem with it. And I let people think I am whatever
they want you to be.
Yeah, sure. I'm a very easygoing person, and we're just here to help. But I wanted to make sure that everybody understands this is my wife's company. She started it, and it actually really started my wife Angela, who is she's fantastic. She does all the day to day. I'm just the face. We have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
So do we.
And so as you understand, that's a full-time job in of itself.
Yeah.
And we absolutely need a representative that is able to do the social media side,
right?
And they can dedicate that time to questions and things of that nature. So I've kind of took that role where Angela, she handles a lot of the
background stuff.
The important stuff, the bills and the ordering and the invoicing and the shipping and all the things that really make this work.
Yeah.
While I handle the customer service, which is just as important.
Yeah, for sure.
But the company really started with Angela coming to me with a pair of earrings and said, "How can we make this?" And I'm kind of a self-diagnosed hobby addict.
Yeah.
So she came to me and was like, "How do you make one of these?" And I was like, I've seen this thing called a Glowforge, here and there. I've seen Adam Savage talk about it on Facebook and all these little things. And I said, I don't know a lot about them, but I'll start looking into it.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, we had one ordered. And a couple weeks later, we had one. And Angela's making earrings for her old high school. Or that was her old goal. She wanted to produce earrings for her high school with their logo and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just a kind of a side thing. And as we were learning, about the machine, what all we can do. One of my hobbies was taking some amateur photos and editing them on the computer and things like that. I did some photography for work, and we started doing the photo engraves, which we kind of moved into that being our little niche.
Yeah.
And I was a salesman. That was my day job at the time when we first started. And what I did was I took a piece of wood and engraved a photograph of my daughter on it, and turned it into my notebook for work.
Yeah.
So I would walk into all these pretty nice offices
right.
to drop a business card, and the nice lady at the desk would say, "Oh my God, that's beautiful. Where did you buy that?" And
I made it.
I said, "Yeah." And how convenient.
Right.
Take this business card as well.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'll definitely get into that later this afternoon or later in the podcast. But yeah, it's kind of like where did that come from? And I said, oh well, I actually made it. And they're like, I would love one of my granddaughter. I would love one of
right.
for this. I'd love one for that. And by the holiday season, we had overcommitted. To the point
we've all done that.
We've all done that to the point where we're not proud of it, but we would set our alarm every hour, put a piece of wood in the Glowforge, fall asleep.
Oh man.
With it running. I know, not proud of it.
Well, so I'll not that I'm encouraging the behavior,
absolutely
but with a photo engrave, it is like if you have to put it on like the scale of danger. Yeah, it's definitely on the lower end. And it's also why it's so tempting is because rarely do you have like flare-ups with a photo engrave, and they're so long that it's like I can't possibly sit here this whole right.
And we did the math, and it turned into we had. It was like we had 100 hours before we had to, to get these people their products for Christmas. We had 100 hours and I had 100 photos to do.
Oh, God.
And they take an hour apiece. So we were like, all right, well, I guess this is what we're just going to have to do. Oof. And so, yeah, it was real exciting. But in that process, it kind of led us into the Smokey Hill Designs wood company that we are today.
Yeah, because materials has always been a struggle, right?
Yeah, well, high quality wood materials that cut consistently.
Yeah,
you've said it yourself in previous podcasts. Wood is difficult. It's not consistent,
right?
In a lot of cases.
Well, and let me tell you, when I first started, there weren't a ton of like you guys, the people who sold directly to the Glowforge owner. And the first time I went into the Home Depot and you go on the lumber aisle, and I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know which one to choose. I didn't know which one was good, which one was bad, what was too thick, what was too thin. And then those sheets were like, sometimes they were moldy, sometimes they were like super warped. And it was like, so then you finally find like the wood that you're like, okay, I think this might be okay. Trying to find someone to then cut it down for you is a whole other beast. And it was like, my anxiety can't handle that stuff as well. So having companies like you guys is, a game changer for sure.
Well, we absolutely appreciate it. We pride ourselves on our products. Once we really found a product that worked well, and then we were able to find, more or less a mill that would continue to make a consistent product day in, whenever we needed it. That was, there's a lot of pieces of the puzzle that fell into place. But yeah, there's, you can buy wood anywhere, right? But wood designed for lasering is just such a niche thing, and you can even get, deep in the layers of safety, health wise, formaldehyde. I mean, there's so many buzzwords, and then you have the grades, and it can become very overwhelming really fast. And like you said, if you think about, okay, I need to go buy this sheet, it's going to take, some of us are lucky and we live 20 minutes or 15 minutes from a Home Depot, but a lot of people aren't. It's an hour there, an hour while you're there trying to get service. Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah, an hour back, the gas to go there. Yeah. And actually, it's a half a day. You don't have to get lunch while you're out. You don't spend $150 just to go get wood. Yeah. And you could have just took your $150 or less, depending on the product, got a better product that's more consistent shipped to your house. Right. And during that 4 hours, you could have been making crafting, stuff, making money, enjoying your day, enjoying your family. There's so many different variables. So we definitely understand that there are cheaper options. Yeah. But we also feel like they are cheaper options. Right. And we just do our best to offer the highest quality product. Yeah. As possible, and continue to do so.
So, John, that the Father's Day sign that you have, that's all Casey wood.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the Casey wood.
The Casey wood.
Casey's wood.
Yeah. The puns begin.
Right.
Have you found recently, because there's been a lot of memes on social media with like wood prices skyrocketing. Have you noticed any of that?
Oh, absolutely. Really? We wouldn't mind paying the 3x if you could even get some of the products. I mean, that's the laws of supply and demand. It's and it's sadly going to get worse before it's going to get better. I'm pretty confident. Yeah. We've definitely took steps, because this is my wife's and I's 100% income. We have employees that rely on us to continue to get product, make product, sell product, ship product, as well as we have a lot of customers that we are their livelihood. And we don't take that lightly. And we have took steps to make sure that, we have standing orders from, different places. And we could go out and buy just this or that from this or that, or drive to other states and buy it from, different people. But, we also want to continue to offer a consistent product. So that means, possibly going out of stock for a little while we, have to, then so be it. But I think we have things in place to where we won't be out of stock too much.
You've done as much as you can as far as to ensure that it's much as we can. Little impact.
And I will absolutely say, and I will go on the record saying this, we won't be running out of the materials to make pattern ply anytime soon. Good. We have made some serious investments in materials and supplies. And very we smart. Have, we think we have enough secure to where we can get through the holiday season.
Nice.
And hopefully we think we'll be able to weather the shortage, to rival the toilet paper shortage of 2020.
Right.
That may arguably be worse. At least in our little industry or our little world. But yeah, we've definitely took precautions, and we're going to continue to try to stay ahead of the curve. And there's definitely going to be some uphill battles, but I hope all of our customers, and anybody in this laser world of ours understands, because I know I saw a post, I've seen a couple posts that costs are going up, we haven't raised our prices, and we're going to go, or we're going to try to hold our prices as long as possible.
Yeah.
Try to eat any price increases as much as possible. But it's inevitable. All of our materials are going to go up.
Right.
Acrylic, wood, the masking tape, the parts. I mean, everything is going to go up. But I hope everybody understands that as things go up, as your costs go up, your prices need to also go up. And people aren't going to fault you for raising your price 5-10% every week or two. Everybody wants to put a disclaimer on their Etsy, and I don't think that's a bad thing to do.
Right.
But the gas station didn't put a disclaimer out on the pole when the price went up 20 cents overnight.
Right.
Because everybody just understands that when there's shortages, prices go up. We hope they come back down. But they always go up faster than they come down.
They sure do.
And when they come down, they don't go as far down as when they started.
No, of course not.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when, I guess it's been 10, 15 years ago, but, when fuel surcharges became a thing for shipping.
Oh, man.
And everybody's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have to deal with this. It never went away.
Yeah. I had to deal with those actually. I was in accounting for an oil and gas company. And they started charging the fuel surcharges. And then, they became like just kind of part of it. And then eventually they did start to, kind of go away. But I can't tell you how many people tried to sneak them little things back on in there. There was one company that I ended up finding that they snuck $100,000 in fuel surcharges in our invoices, just in a couple cents over over time, because we used them so much. It was over $100,000 in a year that they were supposed to have removed the fuel surcharge and hadn't. And,
it just stayed.
Right. And they kind of snuck it in because it was, I don't remember the specifics, but it was like
a relatively low amount.
It was relatively low, and it was like not on it was on the digital copy of the invoice, but not the physical. And so when you were looking at the physical, you didn't see fuel surcharge. But when you were looking at the digital, if you broke down all of those line items of that really big invoice, it was snuck in there, and it was like, you thought you got us. You got us for a while.
$1 here, $1 there.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
I digress. It's going to be it's going to be trying times. But I think that as a community, I think obviously we'll get through it.
Yeah.
And I just want to kind of make that point that, you there's no reason for anybody to be losing money. Your customers, my customers will understand, or I feel like they will understand that this is a wooden product.
If they're your customer, they will understand, because the ones who don't are not the ones who are the right ones for you. The ones that you have to eat any profit, I mean, it just doesn't. It's easy to do in like the heat of the moment, but like when it comes down to it, if you're not making money or you're eating too much of this, it's not worth it, because you're just working for that much less, and eventually it's going to wear on you, and you're not going to be able to.
It's also like not just one sided. It's like if those people that make, let's just take ornaments out of wood. If what they sold last year at $20,
right?
All of them now collectively are selling at $30 just because supply. Their supplies went up. It's like, man, I remember when these were $20 last year. I should have bought a whole bunch of them, but now they're 30. They don't really say anything because you can't really find it cheaper because the.
Well, and the ones
I remember when gas was a nickel.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, the ones who decide to eat all of that are not going to be the ones who last, because you're just working so much harder for so much less, and it's just not worth it in the end. So
sure, I agree, and that can be used in so many different aspects and so many different. I mean, literally any you pick an industry, it's always going to be that way. The companies that understand the cost of doing business.
Yep.
And understand their profit margins will be the ones that continue to grow, and the ones that want to give, sell their Christmas ornaments for $6 or $4,
right?
Because it happens, and we've all been there.
Yeah, we've all made the mistake in the beginning.
Yeah, well, or this guy, he's going to buy a lot of Christmas ornaments. Let me give him a deal on the first one.
Right.
Man, once you give him that deal on the first one, he wants a deal on all of them.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't raise it on the next one.
Yeah, you can always go down. It's
exactly. Very true.
Unless you're selling drugs.
Well,
because the first one's always free.
About that.
I hear the first one's always free.
That would make sense, wouldn't
it? So at what point?
So that's what I started doing with my wood. Just the first one's free, right?
Yeah. So at what point did you? I remember. I think I was working with Amanda when you finally quit your day job.
Oh, that was actually the anniversary of that was like 2 days ago.
Wow.
Which is like kind of humbling, mind blowing.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions come to heart.
Yeah.
Because that was a really tough decision for us, me and us. Because I actually really did enjoy what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't sustainable.
Yeah. Doing both,
yeah. It wasn't fair to my customers that I had in my previous industry, because I couldn't give them the 110% that I try to give to all of my customers in any industry that I serving at the time. So yeah, it was definitely a tough decision, but obviously it's paid off in the long run, and we have a lot of supportive customers that have definitely made it worth it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely a tough decision, and that's a decision that I'm sure that any of us that have made that jump have had to do that soul searching and say, all right, are we prepared for this?
I didn't even like my job towards the I didn't even like my job until towards the end, and it was really hard for me. Yeah, I mean, so it was hard because I had become to hate what I was doing, but I loved the people I was working with. And so that's where it was really hard, because I loved, all the engineers and the drillers and all of that I had, I had literally grown up with them, because I started working there when I was like 21. And so, when I left, it was 30 something. I was there for 12 years. And so it was, again, even though I was unhappy with like management and I didn't love, paying invoices all day, it was really hard to leave. It was hard to leave the people, and I knew it. I knew my job very well, and I could do all of it very quickly and very easily.
You feel guilty about leaving that company.
And not to mention you were getting paid very well.
I was getting paid very well too.
Let's not forget that little.
Yeah, let's not forget that little nugget of information. And I knew that I wasn't going to make anywhere near that money, at least for where I was at in my crafting journey, because I didn't even have a laser yet. So it was, it was definitely scary, and I still don't make what I made then, yet I'm way happier, because I just don't, if there's any stress that I'm dealing with, it's usually self-induced. It's because
I give myself a lot of stress.
Right, it's because I overexerted, I didn't plan. A lot of times it's like, okay, this is something I could have avoided had I done this, which is great, because then it's not, it's within your control. So
yes, it's great, and being able to take a step back and understand that is, super important too.
Right.
Learn from that stress and say, the next time it comes around, will this be worth that stress?
Yeah, like the holiday stress.
I'm already, we are starting to push our customers and say, hey, y'all might want to buy some candy
think
cane
about it now.
Apply.
Mm-hmm.
Because come the holiday season, it's going to be hot and heavy.
Right.
And while you're slow, go ahead and start making you a couple 2021 Christmas ornaments.
Right.
Put them on the shelf, because
buy a couple sheets only here and there.
There's so many hours in the day when once we get to September and October and November, so anything that you can do now would definitely benefit you then.
Right.
And kind of going to go back, I did want to say this: leaving the job I had, I looked forever to find a podcast or an article or something about how to leave a job you love, and there's not one.
Right.
It's definitely tough. It was definitely tough. So, and I learned a lot. And I learned a lot about dealing with customers on a lot of different levels. Doing that job that has definitely paid dividends with this. Yeah, it's carried over a lot. It was a completely different industry, but at the end of the day, people are people.
Right.
And personalities are personalities. And I'm lucky that before I was selling to businesses, I feel like I'm selling to a business, whether your business is just you in your craft room on a Saturday, right. or if you have a full-blown Etsy with 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 sales, you're still a business. And in my previous job, if I didn't do my job, then my customers couldn't do their job.
Exactly, right.
And that's why we really take serious, or take what we do seriously. That what we're doing is directly proportional to my customer's business.
For sure.
And we don't take that lightly.
And so what were you saying about, you were talking about insurance and all that, so you guys are, solely like laser materials business.
Yeah, we just do materials. We don't do, we don't feel right selling finished goods. We don't want to compete with our customers. We don't feel like it would be fair.
Yeah.
And honestly, we feel like we wouldn't do that job that well.
Right.
I think that
having one focus is
definitely the best.
Right.
It's there's a lot of layers to the business itself. Everything from insurance to insurance for our employees to just.
And how many employees do you have right now?
Between full-time and part-time, we're up to 9.
Wow.
We're up to 9. Most are part-time, but we do have a few salary people, a few salary people, including myself and Angela.
Right.
It's quite the production when everybody rolls in and
right.
starts getting going.
When you just got your warehouse, right? Oh, sorry, 5 what?
Yeah. We have 5, we have 5 part-time high school boys, and they roll in. Some days it's 2 or 3. Some days, today we had 5. All 5 were there. It's a rain day, so there was no tennis practice,
right.
soccer practice, and it's great to see those boys. And I like being able to.
Well, showing them that is really cool too.
Yeah, that's what I would say. It's a good message to show them, like, you don't necessarily have to work for somebody. You can go to business for yourself.
Yeah, well, no.
Or into a small business.
They work for me.
Well, while they're in school.
No. You're not going anywhere. No.
Don't learn too much.
It's great seeing them grow, and it's great reading their strengths. I have some that are really good at paying attention to small details, and and that's the guy I go pull pattern apply, right?
Right.
And then I have some guys that are super fast and super loose, and you go pack boxes, right?
Yeah.
So it's good being able to read their talents as well as see their potential. And, we put some on this equipment, some on that equipment, and we'll put them here, and they might not have done that well there. We'll move them over here. And we look forward to keeping those guys and keeping them more active. We just got done with a contest where they all picked a pattern ply. And we sold it for 2 weeks. And man, it was fun seeing them. It was fun seeing them talk about it and talk about the next one. Taking notes on who did well and who didn't do well, and what they're going to do on the next contest. So
nice.
It was really cool. And I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying before? Oh, warehouse.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Yeah, we moved in there, which, it's another humbling experience to go from the garage, right, to the shop.
Right. Yeah, you built the shop, and then you had to leave the shop, 6 months later or something like that?
Yeah.
It seemed really quick.
It was, outside looking in, it was really quick, but at the same time,
right.
We almost outgrew it before we moved into it.
Yeah.
Which was kind of it's exciting.
Well, it's hard because I mean, by the time you can afford to start it, you've already needed it for a while, but you didn't really have the money to do it.
And then like once buying a laser.
Exactly. Yeah. And then once you have it, then you're like, okay, and then by the time it's built, you've needed it, again, since since before you had the money for it. So now it's like, yeah. I mean, so I moved out of one office into another. And by the time I moved into that office, I already needed more space. And so it was like, okay, well, I can't give up all of my old office. I had to keep like half of my old office and a new one. Because it was just, by the time you get moved all over, then you've grown. And you just got to adjust as you go.
I think my best analogy, I used this with another customer a week or two ago. As soon as you get your Glowforge up and going and you know what you're doing, it's time for another one.
Oh yeah.
Or it's time for a bigger laser.
Yeah.
And then you buy a Mirror 7 or a Thunder. I'm not familiar exactly with their nomenclature, but by the time that gets in there and you get it going, now you need the Mirror 9 or the Nova,
Well, so I remember in July, my Glowforge was pissing me off, and I was really, I knew I really needed something else a little bit more reliable and bigger and faster. And I was tempted because I had the 50% down for a 7, and I was really, I was tempted, to just buy the 7. And I was like, no, let me just hold out a little bit longer and get the 9. And I'm so thankful that I did that because, I mean, I think it was literally just weeks. I hit my peak at like July, August last year, and I had finally hit my 50%. I got the other 50% in a month. So it was like, I would have been so pissed if I, put the money down on a 7, and had I just waited 2 weeks, I could have, paid off a 9. So I knew, it's like, it's hard to not just jump on it, but you kind of have to like think about it too, like what is going to be the best for the long run.
Absolutely, yeah. We had some similar situations when we were looking for buildings, because we were honestly looking for buildings during the busy season. But we knew that there was absolutely no way we could have moved and continued to fulfill orders. I mean, it took us like 6 to 8 weeks just to move in the slow season and be able to continue to. I felt terrible. Everybody said, "Oh, when are you going to offer this?" Oh, when we get done moving. I was like, I told people I was moving like a month ago, but we're still moving.
But really, we're still moving.
Yeah, it's just the logistics of moving while doing business.
Yeah,
but we couldn't justify closing the doors for 2 weeks, and it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
But we had looked at some buildings earlier or late last year. And we looked at each other and I was like, I think we just need to pump the brakes. And we actually found like the perfect place. And there's a lot of history there with another small business had started, or the people who own that building were leasing it. The people who own that building started their business in their basement. And now they own half the town.
Wow.
So it's another American dream type story, or whatever you want to call it, where it's like, these are the kind of people we want to be around and be with and do business around. And, they understand us as a small business and things of that nature. We had looked at one building. We still haven't heard back if we're approved for it. It was a big firm out of California owned it. And they were like, we we need your banker reference and this and that. We need 4 years of business references and all this stuff. And we're like, we're a small mom and pop shop.
Right.
I can pay my bill, but
right.
like, I can get my accountant to tell you I have the money. I don't know what you want from me here.
Right.
But yeah, the Lord was looking out and put us in the right spot.
Well, and I mean, that's just kind of how, which again, when I was so anxious to get the machine, I was starting to call around and try and get loans for the new laser. Because I had some money, but I didn't have all of it, and the need was already there. And so
you were drowning in orders.
Right. And so I was, I called my bank that I had my business account with, and they were like, no, so in pre-COVID times, I could have gotten a loan, but because of COVID, I miss those times. Yeah, right. Pre-COVID, yeah.
Although we're in Florida, so we'll be there like tomorrow.
Oh God, yeah.
It's gonna be like the new modern history, like totally, in high school, 20 years from now. It's like pre-COVID.
Yeah. Well, and so they kept telling, I kept getting a bunch of no's, and it was like, well, this sucks. And then I tried to get a business credit card, and I only got approved for $1,000. And if anybody knows anything about lasers, that doesn't get you shit.
Cool. I need 10 more of these.
Right.
It's like 2 orders from Smokey Hill. What?
Right. So I was like, okay, well, this sucks. And then again, literally, it was just weeks later. And, I had my 50% down. And then, like I said, a month later, I had the other 50%. And it was like, I was so glad in, hindsight that none of them said yes, because I never had to get a loan.
You didn't have to go into debt.
Yeah, I didn't have to. Yeah, exactly. I didn't have to go into debt. I still don't have any debt as a business. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised that I've been able to be proud of. For sure. Yeah, and I still can't believe. I remember, I think we had a friend in town a couple weeks ago, and he was showing her my office and stuff, and she saw the laser, and she's like, "Oh, how much is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's a lot." She's like, "How much?" I'm like, "Oh, $11,000." She was like, "Oh," she's like, "Is it almost paid off yet?" And I was like, "Oh, actually, I paid it off before I even got it." And she was like, "What?" And I mean, a part of that too.
How many Christmas ornaments do you make?
Right. And I mean, part of that was that, because of how our family dynamic was set up, that I was able to reinvest every dollar from my business back into my business. I wasn't having to pay the mortgage or pay any of the bills yet. And then eventually, once my machine was paid off and all that, now I do, I pay my car payment and my car insurance and a couple other things, from my business account. But
sure, the business. Yeah.
Right. And so, I mean, obviously that contributed to it too, because, there's the other crafters who are like, okay, sure, I made $600 this month. Well, now I need to put 300 of this towards gas, mortgage, materials, whatever. And so now you can only invest 300 into it or whatever. But yeah, so
it's definitely a balancing act. And the, I honestly, I am 100% not a business expert.
Me
and
either.
I don't claim to be.
Yeah.
I am blessed to have seen a lot of different businesses throughout the different industries. I've been in the agricultural field. I've been in the I worked for a government agency at one time, worked for USDA. So I kind of saw how, that side of business works. Worked for when I worked as a salesman, I worked in the underground utility businesses with, power co-ops and gas and oil companies and things like that. So I have a lot of experience. Yeah. And seeing how this company takes all their money and reinvests it. And they have all the new and nice equipment, and they use new and nice stuff. And now I've seen the mom and pop shop that literally just fix everything, and I've seen all of them successful and in different ways. And, we kind of just took a hybrid of seeing all these different businesses or, different industries and everything else and said, all right, this is how we're going to do it. We're going to reinvest. We're going to have nice equipment. We're going to have, high quality products. We're not going to, we're not going to go into a bunch of debt. We're going to take it slow. We're not going to overcommit.
Right.
We're not going to overpromise.
So hard not to.
I'm the worst. I am the definition of a yes man salesman.
Right.
And that's to be fair. That's what's great about having a 2-part team. Me and my wife is, yeah, honey, we're going to do this. We're going to produce this for this person. And she's like, man, what are you talking about? that doesn't make any sense.
No, we're not.
No, we're not yet. Yeah, she hasn't done that to me yet. She's like, you need to think a little bit more before you start promising to supply that much for, or whatever it may be. Or just
making sure if you do it, you do it the right way. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's very easy to overpromise if you're not careful, and then you're up 24 hours a day.
Right.
And welcome to our world, right?
Yeah.
But it's good. It's
then you add a kid into the mix, and
oh, absolutely.
So let's
child and everything else.
Let's start over promising and get into this new stuff that you got going.
Yeah. Okay, the good stuff.
Yeah, so we gotta have a teaser, right?
Yes.
So Smokey Hill Designs, we are the home of Patternfly. In our group specific trademarked, hopefully registered any hour now, but that's been a fun learning process.
Oh, right.
But Smokey Tides Laser Supplies Facebook group, we are going to continue to be the exclusive location for Patternfly. And we are going to, by the time this airs, or just after this airs, we are going to be releasing our new line of Patternfly, which will be Patternfly Acrylic.
Woo woo! I'm so excited.
So that's going to be really good for us. It's going to be really good for our community, we feel. We've been working with Amanda on this. She's been testing different materials for us.
Nice.
We're really excited to be able to offer that. To be fair, it'll also be really nice to offer that with the potential of wood shortages coming.
Right. Yeah.
To where people will be able to potentially have to pivot. Like I said, I don't foresee us running out.
Yeah.
In the next year.
But hey, having a backup is never a bad.
Absolutely. And moving into the holiday season, I really see that it can open up more opportunities, especially if we have another viral product or two, like we did last year.
Right.
I think it can open up a lot of opportunities.
So
yeah, we're absolutely excited to offer that.
Nice.
What we'll be doing, like I said, by the time this airs, we'll have it all lined out on our group, Smokey Tides, Laser Supplies. But what we're going to do is every week, we haven't decided which day, but every week we are going to open a poll on our group with our what me and Angela think are the top 40 prints that we think would be the best prints for Patternfly Acrylic that week. And we'll have a smattering of patterns, a smattering of, the seams, the rocks, the geodes, the woods, and what have you. And we're going to let our customers vote on which ones they want to see that week. And we're going to take the top 20, and that is what we're going to offer every week. And we're going to offer it for a day or two. And so this kind of goes back to where our goal is to not overpromise and underdeliver, right? We don't want to say, hey, just go on our website and you can order any print and any,
right.
I think we're up to like 400.
Yeah,
we're up to like 400 different prints. We already offer 2 different thicknesses on both 1 and 2 sided. So we're over 1,600 variants.
Wow.
So if we add black, white, and clear,
right.
we quickly drowned. It can quickly become overwhelming, not only for us but also our customers. You walk into Walmart with 100 million different items, or you walk into your local
yes.
Publix or Harris Teeter, it's a lot less overwhelming at a smaller,
for sure,
with a smaller selection. So, that's how we're going to start doing it. Is we're going to offer, we're going to let our customers vote on what they'd like to see, and we're going to offer them for a day or two, and we're going to, that will be a fluid situation, just depending on how many sell and how fast they sell. And then we're going to do like we do with our pattern ply MDF
weekly
where
drop.
we're going to do a weekly drop and then ship it over the next week. And within the next 5 business days is our goal.
Right.
And we're really, really excited about it. And I think it's going to be a really good opportunity for us.
Heather and I have been really waiting for the acrylic side since you started doing it on the MDF and stuff. So
we really wanted to make sure that we got that down.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go buy product and wait 3 weeks for it or 2 weeks for it or whatever. And with us making everything in house, we do. We make everything in house. We want to be the person that, we don't want to have to rely on anybody else for anything.
Right.
So we don't sub out the work. We do it ourselves. And the last thing we're going to do is take on people's money and then sit on it for 2 or 3 weeks while they're not making money. I mean, that's not fair.
No.
So and then to be fair, it did take us a while to fall in a groove and get everything in place, get moved to where we had the space to where we could keep things on the shelf to, help fill orders and whatnot. It's going to be, I think it's going to be very, very popular.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of opportunity for some really, really cool, projects with it.
Yeah. I agree.
While also working with the, I think you could do it in conjunction with the MDF. And really come up with some really cool combos with some, really dynamic projects.
Yeah.
We're super excited about it, and we're glad we were able to talk about it on the podcast.
Right? First exclusive announcement.
Exclusive announcement, yes. By the time this is aired, we'll also have a second product that we're going to be offering, and that is going to be pattern ply veneers.
Shut your mouth.
Yes, so I kept that one from you.
You did, you little sneak. Very smart of you, though. I like that.
So
you know me and veneer. I'm also I love acrylic, but I also do really love veneer.
Think about a nice thin 1/32 of an inch thick, one-sided with 3M back already applied, as well as two-sided.
What?
Two-sided, 1/32 of an inch. And I have an amazing story to tell you about this. Okay. So we've been testing this for about a month now. And we've sent out some samples to a couple customers, as well as done some sampling of our own. And I'm a huge proponent of business cards. Like anybody that will listen to me for 10 minutes will hear me talk about business cards. And they're like, this guy just needs to shut up. It's a waste of money. It's not. When I was, and that kind of goes back to what we said earlier when I was showing off my portraits and I had business cards in my pocket, right?
Yeah.
I've been the guy, and everybody here has got a business card from somebody. You stick it in your pocket, and it goes to the wash, and it gets ruined, and it gets thrown away.
Right.
Or you threw it in a drawer, you stuck it in your wallet, or blah, 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 and you never saw it again. You don't know where it is, and you need to call the guy, whatever. Our business card, and we show it off a lot. We really like it. It's very dynamic. It's our lab, Diesel Smoke, Smokey Hill Designs.
Right.
It's our lab. And it's his outline. It's an obscure shape. You can't put it in a wallet, right? It can't be just thrown in your pocket because it has a sharp point, right? And it's also really, really pretty and really, really cool.
So you don't want to throw it away.
You don't want to throw it away, right?
Yeah.
And up until now, we've always done we've done quarter, we've done eighths, we've done pattern ply, we've done wood, we've done MDF, we've done acrylic, we've done we've done them in a bunch of different things. And even when I was at Ditch Witch, I also had a wooden business card that I always gave out at different customers. And I have a couple customers. I've gone back and I was around their office, after I had left, and my business card's still sitting on their desk with a phone number that doesn't go anywhere.
Nice.
Because they don't want to throw it away.
Yeah.
So we were out looking at equipment last week, and we were at a dealer, and we had our new pattern ply veneer, 2-sided, and we laser cut our business cards out of, which you also cut at 250 full on a glow forge, so it's like they cut so fast. It's so nice.
Yeah, that's fast on a glow forge.
It's wide. Yeah, like it's super nice how fast they cut. But I give them to the customer, or I give them to the salesman, handing out my card. He's like, "Oh my God, this is really cool. How much could you make some of these for me?" And I'm like, "Oh well, I got a whole long laundry list of customers you can call to get them, but we don't we don't do direct to consumer."
Yeah.
And we went to 3 different dealerships. Like I said, looking at equipment and whatnot, and every single one of them were like, "Man, dang, these are really cool.
Yeah.
Where can I get those?" And and one guy was even like, "How much would these cost?" And I was like, "Man, I honestly would say they're probably about $3 a piece, which is astronomically ridiculous for a business card.
Right.
You would think from the outside looking in." He's like, "Man, I'd love to have 100 of them."
Whoa, nice.
And your reaction is exactly right. Wow, yeah. $300 for business cards.
It makes sense though, because here's the thing too. So I don't know if you heard, but like in one of the other, actually I don't even know if I talked about it on the podcast. But so anyway, we've had like a lot of people, coming by the house to do like things, to fix things up. We got blinds and we cut down a tree.
Right.
Well, both of those vendors that came, I literally went on Facebook or on the internet, looked them up. Yeah, I looked them up. I stole their logo and I made them a tiny, like literally inch, like 2-inch by maybe an inch or an inch and a half keychain, and was legit. Yes, giving them as a gift, like here, like thank you for being awesome. And then every time they're like, "Oh, I made the one for the blinds guy," and my husband's like, "What's the price going to be?" I was like, I don't know, it's a gift." And he's like, he's gonna ask. And I was like, "Okay, I'll figure it out." And then I gave it to him, and then he finishes up, or he gave it to him, and then he finishes up and he comes out and he goes, "So how much for 25 of these?" And it was like, "Oh." And so we didn't even we had like a $75 balance with him, and he ended up paying me because he bought 25 keychains, and then the guy who cut down the tree, we went and gave him one, and he didn't end up ordering any, but it was funny because we gave one to the owner. He was the owner of it. Yeah, the owner. And so his employee, or the other person who was helping him cut down the tree was like, "Yo, where's mine?"
Where's my hat?
Yeah, and he was like, "Wow, that's really cool." And he was like, "What else can she make?" And so it's just little things like that where it is like it's a legit thank you to the people who help you out just in your day to day, but then it also is like, look what I can do, without saying, look what I can do.
Look what I can do. Yeah, exactly. $300 for business cards is what?
Right.
100 times more than it would cost to get them from
Vistaprint or
Vistaprint, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But if that guy, and to be fair, you probably wouldn't give them to every customer you see.
Well, I mean, you pick your customers accordingly. If you're at a doctor's office and my OB, exactly. I might give her one of the expensive ones because I'm kind of catering to her.
Your financial advisor, your banker,
exactly.
You're the Edwards Jones lady, the lawyer, or something of that nature.
Right.
And to them, $3 for a business card, but think about how much they pay for customer acquisition. $3 is a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
For some.
Well,
companies.
and if that $3 card turns into $100 sale, like you're good.
Yeah. And the honestly, card I can guarantee won't get thrown away.
Well, right, and then honestly, I mean, if they order anything, add $3 onto that price, they won't know, and you're good. Now you covered the cost of that expensive business card, and you're golden.
Yep. So we're really excited about that. I mean, that has been a pet project of mine. We've spent quite a bit of time working on this. And coming up with a product that is durable. We actually have one of our customers, she took them and put them on tumblers as stickers and running them through the dishwasher. Them through the dishwasher, and they're holding up.
Wow.
We have one on the back of a car,
I like.
So you open up the opportunity
for sure
for that. I'm also pretty sure any of our customers or any of our potential customers that are waiting on their Glowforge, they're very excited that have a Cricut or have a vinyl cutter,
right?
And they want to get started.
Yeah, because I know that can cut through like balsa wood and that kind of stuff.
It'll definitely cut through this stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
nice.
So there's a lot of opportunity. I'm really, really excited to see what people come up with it, even for layering projects.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, my favorite thing is to mix the two. So I love using veneer for bottle openers, and then I also love using it for like earrings and like acrylic combos. Like when I need to hide 3M. I use veneer strategically to hide, the other layer. That I have behind it. And then like one of my popular earring designs was like milk and cookies. And I was like, okay, I can engrave frosted or clear acrylic and get like the milk look, but how do I get the cookie look on frosted clear without having to like paint or do any of that? And then it adds another dimension to it too. So it's just
where that pair of earrings went from a $10 pair to a $15
exactly
pair. Or what, and it doesn't take a lot of it.
No, the cookie was literally like, I mean, a quarter of an inch was the cookie. So like I'm not using like almost any material at all, because it's just a 1.5 inch earring, so the cookie on it is tiny, but it looked so cool. So the possibilities it's almost like too endless, because it's like, whoa, where do I go with this first?
and you can color fill it like any of our other pattern plies, which opens up a really dynamic or contrasting look. I'm always blown away by what our customers come up with. Oh, like I am speechless daily, seeing what these just talented people are able to come up with. Like everything from, there's just so many different, and everybody's different. And everybody has a different style, and even when it comes to Christmas ornaments, you can see the same Christmas ornament. We'll just call it a popular design that everybody sold last year. In 10,000 different variants. Everything from beautiful sapele to clear acrylic with veneer on it. To just clear acrylic. To mirror acrylic. To and everything in between. And it really is exciting just to see these different variants and what different people can come up with. It's just it's humbling, and it really makes us excited to be able to be part of these people's creativity as well as their business success, and being able to be in business with these talented people. Like I said, it's humbling.
Sounds like you're about to take a lot of my money soon.
No.
I've escaped from you for a while just because I have gradually, over time have moved away from wood. So, it's just kind of been more like a friendship, but like when I went, when I needed it, it was there, but I was mostly using acrylic. But yeah, this definitely, and again, it's opening up your customer base too, because the people who are, like me, or, don't really use the specialty woods or don't do a ton of MDF or the pattern ply. I've always wanted to order some of it, but it just never really came into something that I'm like, oh, that would be perfect for this project or whatever. But yeah, I'm excited to see how I can take that.
My favorite line is, we're not gonna take your money. We're gonna help you make more money.
Okay, I like that. That's a good little spin.
True sales,
right?
It works well with the husbands, because we've had a couple customers. There's my husband won't let me buy that, and and as a husband, I could definitely see the situation, having a couple $100 box of wood sitting in the kitchen. Wait, what? You spent how much on that? But we have customers that get hundreds of dollars out of each piece of pattern ply.
Right.
And that's one reason we were so adamant about making sure we had the stuff on hand.
Right, because it would be huge impact if you didn't have it.
Yeah, we would be impacting livelihoods, in my opinion, if that wasn't there, because it is such a high margin product. I think with rising prices, it will. It's very easy to justify, because even my parents, for example, they come in like, well, how did you know what I mean? Like, they know how we make it, right? And even then, they're like, I still don't even understand what's going on here. So you go to a craft fair or something, and you have candy cane wood,
right?
And you're like, well, wait, that's cool, yeah. That's my line. Is we're not taking money. We're going to help you make more money. We're going to help you make better margins. It's the same as the mirror acrylic or any of the other exotic hardwoods that we're offering. It's the wow factor there, that this isn't sand ply or the lower quality veneer core from Lowe's or something of that nature. This is a premium product for a premium price.
Yeah.
And we are so glad to be able to fill that hole or fill that need. And people do. People are able to turn that $20 investment into a $100, $200, $700. One lady, she got busy on some studs. She did $1,600 at one $20 board.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's the best I've heard. If anybody's got better, let me know.
Yeah, right.
Because I will be very proud.
Yeah, for sure.
But she got I don't know, a metric ton of awesome. Studs out of one sheet. That was, good on her. I would absolutely not want to put all those little
right
fittings on the back.
I know, it's so funny. I was just selling my scraps. I actually sold some of them to
congratulations,
Amanda. Thank you. Yes, thank you for the help, because man, it was just I've been holding on to it for forever, because I knew that it was money sitting there. It was there is usable space on here, but then it was first I set it aside for when I got the Mira. I'm like, I can do this faster and more economical on my bigger laser. Well, then when the bigger laser got here, and then pregnancy, and then also just not having enough time to get around to stuff, it was just taking up space. And it was like, okay, let me sell this for something to someone who has the time to turn this into, something else. So, and
as a stage 5 hoarder, I absolutely understand your
right the struggle.
Oh my gosh, the stacks,
and
stacks.
I can only imagine what your stacks look like.
Yeah, but my stacks are 4x8s. I have 2 pieces of absolutely beautiful I mean, just breathtaking sapele, 1/8 inch, and they were cut. It's almost a quarter sewn cut. So what that means is there's a variation in the grain.
Okay.
It's just absolutely beautiful. And sapele, when you clear coat it, it has so much luminescence.
Yeah,
naturally
it's like shimmery almost.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And the back is messed up. It came to me when I bought it, or when it came on the truck. The back veneer is messed up. And I'm looking at these 2 pieces of 4x8, and I've moved these things. I've had them for 6 or 8 months now. I've moved them 3 times.
Right.
They're now sitting in my office because I don't want anybody to accidentally cut them. But the backs are messed up, and I was going to have to sell them as misfits if I cut them in the Glowforge size sheets.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do it. There's absolutely no way that these are going to be anything misfit.
Right.
So I have these two full 4x8 sitting in my office now, and Angela's like, "What are we going to do with these?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Backdrop for when I start live streaming, I guess. I don't know exactly."
That would actually be kind of cool.
I'm gonna take Robin Marsh's calendar and just like 4x8 it, with
right?
A piece of clear acrylic and standoffs and stuff, right? Because that's completely reasonable. But yeah, I have a stack of misfit pattern ply that I keep telling myself I'm gonna make business cards out of. That's like, head high,
right?
And you're like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I totally need this, stack of misfit pattern ply that I say I'm going to make out of business cards with a Glowforge, right? That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Fun fact, I just Googled sapele plywood because I didn't know what the hell you guys were talking about. and yeah, it looks beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'd have a hard time throwing that away too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some pretty wood, that's for sure.
It's my favorite. That's my number 1, followed by Paddock.
Yeah.
Both of them are just really cool and really
dynamic. Followed by
what? Paddock, Padaqu. I think.
I don't think I've even heard of that one.
It's orange.
Ooh.
Padaq.
Nice.
No, it's not QU. It's K. It's Padaq. Excuse me. I'm not not a scholar when it comes to spelling.
Not a speller.
Not a speller. I'm pretty good at math, but I leave the spelling to Angela. Yeah, it's a orange. It's a beautiful orange wood. It's like a medium hard. It works beautiful. It is astronomically, ridiculously dirty. Whenever you're sanding it, it looks like you took a carrot and just exploded it on everything. When we're cutting it down and when we're sanding it, but I once we get our timber thin line up and going, once we get all of our new equipment wired up and everything, I foresee it being a huge I see it being a huge player this holiday
any of those
season.
Unique ones, just something that's not just wood. Everywhere is nice.
Yeah, just a splash of exotic or a splash of color in a project just goes such a long way.
For sure. Well, is there anything else? We're getting close to our time, so is there anything else that you wanted to throw out there that we didn't cover yet that you...
Oh, I'm sure I could talk for at least 4 or 5 more hours. But no, unless y'all have any other thoughts or questions or critiques.
No.
What can we do for you, right?
I don't.
Nothing,
with the pattern acrylic, I've been anxiously waiting for that for sure. So the only thing I've kind of looked into it from there's a few other vendors who kind of do something similar, and for me, I kind of shied away from it a little bit because I can't have. Because I sell mostly digital right now. So I can't have something that's too unique because then people don't see it beyond what I made. So if I show them a design where it could literally just be like a simple earring design, if it's in a super patterned fancy acrylic, they're going to be like, "Oh, well, I don't have that," or "I don't have access to that." And then not by the file, when that file can be made with anything. So that's kind of where I've had my hesitation in there a little bit, but I still want to, like, you know, I'm sure there's some designs that I can throw in there, like especially like a candy cane. That's something where they'll be able to see beyond.
Absolutely.
You know, like, oh, okay, I can get that patterned candy cane acrylic, or I could paint my wood earrings similar to how she made it in, you know, acrylic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so,
Absolutely.
and then I do have a lot of designs where I actually like pair veneer. So I'm really excited about the veneer part.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than
I definitely
that,
think that's going to be very cool.
Yeah. It's been fun watching you guys grow for sure. So
thank you. We do our best to stay in the community and try to give back any way we can, and you know, we try to reinvest to continue to bring people cool exciting shit. New it's been a blast, and I'm excited to see. We have some other things in the pipeline past these 2 new products that
exciting.
We definitely,
right?
Yeah, stay tuned. We're going to continue down this journey of new and cool substrates for the laser world.
Awesome.
And that's what that's our goal. So yeah, I guess the only thing else I would want to say is just do a little plug for our group, that anybody who's listening that hasn't joined it.
Yeah, who's not already in Smokey Tides?
Yeah, the ones that haven't joined the Smokey Tides group on Facebook, we would love to have you, and definitely the best way to stay on top of our new items.
Yeah, for sure.
And would love everybody's feedback on the new items.
Is that where you're gonna be holding the polls for the?
Yep. That's where we hold all our polls. We try not to. We try to stay in our group. We try not to go in. If someone tags us or asks a question or uses our product in another group, I'm absolutely there to help. Mm-hmm. But I don't go. I do my best not to go spam in other groups with sales ads and.
Hey, you can spam in our spammy group called Laser Me This. It's literally the purpose of that group is to spam freely. So if you ever need a space to do so, it's where you can do it, without shame.
Okay. Well, I've got to pay these bills, so I may have to spam our new items now.
Okay, good.
Well, thank y'all. I appreciate the invite. And,
for sure. And also breaking ground, our first male interview.
Oh,
hey,
our
I did
first
not know.
Interview.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm not the only guy here.
First coming out of not being a female.
I am not a girl.
First new product. Am I the first new product dropped?
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
First new product. First male. A lot of firsts in this one.
Yeah.
A lot of firsts. I like it.
Thanks for being our first.
Yeah. You never forget your first.
Right.
Hey, there you go.
Well, we'd like to thank you for your time and
absolutely
dropping, holding off the announcement to do it here.
I'm glad we were able to coordinate that.
Yeah. And
anytime.
I foresee you taking a lot of our money.
I know how he said.
I say our money, but it's really her. But
I'll be sure to drop I'll send a present, John.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you get something. Send me an email with what your interests are, and we'll see what we can pull off for you.
Well, thanks again, and
absolutely.
That's been another great episode of the Riley Black Project with Crystal and John.
Bye.
Mamie, we're all done.